Your first fighter coming to you out of the blue corner, fighting out of a Lake Norman Muay Thai. Please all welcome Edwin.
All right, Edwin Diaz got a lot of fans on Facebook live chat. Even on our YouTube live stream, we're seeing the comments pour in support of this young man. So you guys that have been waiting all night to see Edwin Diaz enter the cage, your moment has arrived. Be sure you're sharing the stream so other people can witness what we're about to see here. As Edwin Diaz from Lake Norman Muay Thai gets ready to take on Duece Carter from Rogue Combat Club.
He's taking a lot of experience in Duece Carter.
A lot of
His
experience.
opponent fighting out of the red corner. Coming to you from a Rogue Combat Club. Please welcome Duece Carter.
All right, 3 wins, 0 losses, and 1 draw for the man they call Duece Carter. Coming out of that Johnny Buck-led Rogue Combat Club. Very, very active club, very aggressive and violent club there. Not known completely for their striking, obviously primarily a no-gi school, but they've got some serious strikers among them. Phil Kratz and this gentleman, Duece Carter, among them for sure.
I can understand why a guy with 4 fights would be taking on a debut. Look at the weight class.
Right.
You just don't have a lot of competitors down here.
Very hard
Very
to find fights as you get better and better at 125. In kickboxing especially, you know, MMA is one thing, but yeah, kickboxing, it gets hard.
Years ago, Jadonis Edwards, a teammate of mine, took on Devin Wynn from Modern Warrior back then. Now he's with Jimbo, and they only had maybe 3 fights apiece, and they fought for title. That's how thin 125 is. Like,
right.
You know, you don't have guys that get into the double digits.
And it's really not just even a local thing. It's kind of everywhere you look.
It's kind of everywhere, exactly.
Yeah.
We saw the UFC get rid of that division and bring it back. It's a tough division to fill.
Tough division to matchmake for, tough division to fill out.
Yeah, I mean,
especially
on the local level, who are these guys fighting after tonight? You know, they don't.
Right.
It's only, you know, Xavier Poole.
I'm sure there's fights out there for a guy like Edwin Diaz if he, you know, doesn't come up on top or comes up on top as a 1-0 here.
Yeah.
But, you know, Duece Carter, especially
it gets
6
harder.
Fights in,
it gets harder.
It gets a lot harder, exactly. Win or lose.
Win or lose.
Because you're talking about a win, you're talking about title fights. You're talking about a loss, you're talking about starting over, essentially. But, you know, that Lake Norman Muay Thai team, they've shown us over and over again tonight that they're ready and they're bringing heavy hitters to this card. And it speaks highly of this young man, Edwin Diaz, that they would put him up against somebody with this much experience in Duece Carter. A lot of confidence from that Lake Norman Muay Thai school.
Indeed.
Let's see what's going to happen here between Duece Carter and Edwin Diaz. One of the most anticipated bouts of Fight for It 11 is finally underway.
Strong head kick by Carter.
Carter starts things off real strong with a heavy head kick. And Edwin Diaz trying desperately to slow things down a little bit here. But, you know, even in his first fight, Duece Carter showed 2 things, an abundance of aggression and toughness. 2 things that will carry you a long way.
But pay attention to how he moves over. He doesn't fall all the way in. He keeps his range, let his tools go. Works inside of every range, the clinch as well as long distance. Beautiful footwork.
Edwin keeps looking for that clinch when Carter comes on strong. That is enough to save you, but it's not enough to win you any points.
My goodness.
Yeah, Carter pouring it on thick now.
Yes. It's going to pick him apart.
Yeah, Carter looking like just a much improved version of the beast we saw at Fight 4 at 8.
Love the way he steps over.
Yeah, that's really nice cage work from him.
Exactly. And then when the moment's right, strike. Look at it.
0 net offense so far a minute into this one for Edwin Diaz.
Well, Diaz has got to come off the cage and get into his fight stance. He can't stay with his back against the cage.
Square, too. Like he's squared up. You know,
exactly.
He's got no striking power from that position.
Exactly. Just got to get in your stance and let your hands go.
Purely defense so far from Edwin Diaz. He's done everything he can just to survive the blows, but Duece Carter introduces the standing 8 count.
All right, we're going to get a standing 8 count right here at the time.
And he is raring and ready to go again. Edwin Diaz responds in kind to the 8 count.
Here we go, carry
Duece
on.
Carter, you got to think he's going to be
10
immediately
seconds,
looking
guys,
for the
10
same
seconds. Let's get it.
aggression. And he has him backed up against the fence immediately again. Huge round for Duece.
And
probably even a 10-8 on most judges' scorecards, I would think.
And if you're Duece,
First
you
round in the
are going to
books.
go for the
Number
finish.
2 coming at you.
Because you have the more experience. There's no reason
Because you're the guy who should be finishing.
Exactly. You
Yeah.
don't want to go to the distance with a guy that's making a debut. In your mind, you don't want to go to the finish with a debuter. Referee stepping in to take a good look.
Yeah, you can see Sean really concerned with the state of Edwin Diaz, and I just don't know if it's a matter of the damage or just the inactivity that's prompting such a stern eyebrow from Sean Woods.
I would say it's the activity, but also, as you stated in previous fights, we've got to look out for these fighters' safety and their health.
Especially when they're this young. You know, this is a young man making his debut. Potentially got a lot of fights ahead of him.
So he can always come back. But he's game.
He's getting the stern talking to from Sean. I think Sean just told him, look, you're going to need to fight in this round. I'm going to call it.
I think he said, you got to show me something, son. Look at that footwork. He stays just
Duece
outside
Carter
the
right
range.
back on him with a huge body kick. That's one of the loudest strikes we've heard tonight. Duece Carter pouring it on super heavy now. He's really got him hurt. Sean Woods taking a close look at the action here for Edwin Diaz. Debuting against a very game, very experienced, very tough Duece Carter. And Rogue Combat Club has looked like they've come out here looking
Body
for
shot.
heads tonight.
I would not be surprised if the ref says enough is enough.
It's getting to that point. I'm seeing Sean get closer and creep closer and closer to the action here. Edwin Diaz doing a good job of getting back off the fence. He's going to need to just get into some kind of offensive position if he doesn't want this one called.
Look at, he's going to head to the body, to the leg.
Sean Woods getting in real close here. We could be seeing our first finish in a long time. Right here in front of us now at the commentator's booth, Duece Carter laying the hands on in a big way. Man, that leg kick really stopped him from resetting his.
Time to
That
stop
will
it.
be
Time to
it.
stop it.
Another standing 8 count from Sean Woods.
Standing 8 count. Here we go.
And Edwin Diaz is threatened. This is a position
Round
that I
number
feel
2.
like Duece Carter can.
It's it.
That is going to be it.
Nice.
Duece Carter picks up the win by referee stoppage in the 2nd round.
Your winner
He
out
is
of the red corner,
Edwin Diaz
Duece Carter
was just not able to get
Young man
anything
improves
going.
to 4 wins and no losses.
Very
Lightning hands.
tough debut there from Edwin Diaz. Big ask
Yes.
to ask him to walk out against a guy like Duece Carter. Showed no fear, but once he got in there, he just really couldn't get any kind of positive action going on his side of the ball.
Yeah, he was outgunned, outskilled in every way.
Nice
But
round of applause,
if
ladies
you
and
can find
gentlemen.
a 25.
Fighters, give it up for Duece Carter out of Rogue Combat Club.
But if you can find somebody for Diaz, I think he'll do okay. But
Yeah.
like you stated earlier, I mean, unless you're going to cut those pounds, I don't know where you're going to get that weight class from.
Well, you know, I think it's one of those things where you have a fight like this, and you're like, all right, Edwin, you've been in there under probably the worst case scenario you can be under there.
It can only be better.
Let's get you in there against a debut. You know, so you're coming into this fight as an 0-1er against another debut. We'll see how it works out next time. I mean, this is, like I said, very young guy, potentially a long future of fighting ahead of him.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he was outgunned, but he did a lot of things right.
Big,
You know?
yeah, big props to him for just being able to survive that first round, because a lot of guys would have just shut down and let themselves get finished there.
Yeah.